Hello, I'm going to start reading to you this story called Horror Heights by someone called Beck Hill. Beck Hill's actually a comedian, so this story is quite funny, and it's also all about slime, which a lot of children, particularly in Key Stage 2, really love playing with and love making, so I think you'll really enjoy this story. As you can see from the title and from the front cover, it is also a bit of a horror story, but it's a funny horror story. And it's about a girl called Connie who attends this school, which is called Horror Heights. It's about her and her best friends and about her collection of slime. Let's get started. Chapter 1, which happens on Friday. "No!" cried Connie. But it was too late. Mrs. Strapp was heading to the confiscation cupboard in the staff room with Connie's latest tub of slime, again. "Why does she always do that?" said Connie, and as she sulked. "Maybe it would be better if you didn't bring your slime collection to school," suggested Alice in a kind tone. Connie's second best friend was always trying to work out a better way to do things, a faster way to run, a quicker way to do homework. Alice had even worked out the most efficient way to disarm someone in a fight, by throwing someone in their face. "I can't leave the tubs at home," said Connie. "Then no one will know that I'm Connie, Queen of Slime." "Actually," said JD, leaning back in her chair, "if Miss Strapp has them all, then that makes her the Queen of Slime." "Quit being a sasspot, JD," said Amy. She turned to Connie. "You nearly made a whole week without getting it confiscated. Better luck next time." Amy was superstitious, and Connie's other second best friend. Some kids thought she was a bit bonkers, but that's what made her so much fun to be around. Alice and Amy kept chatting, shouting over Connie, whose desk was in between them. She liked that her desk was sandwiched between her friends, but hearing them in stereo could be a bit overwhelming sometimes. "What do you think Miss Strapp does with all that slime?" asked Alice. "I think she eats them," Amy replied. "I think she takes them home and pours them all into her bath and then just lies in it," said Alice, bursting into giggles. "Yeah," said Amy, struggling to contain her laughter, "in the nude." Connie clasped her hands over her ears. The thought of her slime being anywhere near her teacher's exposed body was enough to make her woozy. Something tickled the back of her neck. She quickly slapped it in case it was a spider and Ryan was filming one of his dumb pranks on his phone again. Thankfully, it was just a note from Nat, who sat behind her. It said, "Cheer up, it's nearly the weekend. Diverse tonight." Connie grinned. Diverse, short for Danger Universe, was an online game where players could team up to complete tasks like slay a dragon or escape a dungeon or open a hat shop. The pair were almost opposites. Nat was calm, rational and precise, while Connie was restless, silly and spontaneous. But when they worked together, they were invincible. She turned around and gave Nat a double thumbs up, just as Miss Strapp marched back into the classroom. Miss Strapp wasn't a tall lady, but she walked like she was. She always looked pensive, as if she was trying to do a crossword in her head and couldn't work out the final clue. No one had ever seen her smile. Legends said she once came close, but the only kid who was there at the time passed out in terror before they saw her lips form a complete grin. As Miss Strapp made her way to the front of the class, everyone sat up straight again, except for Amy, who was still giggling at the image of Miss Strapp bathing in slime. Her shoulders shook. Alice whispered out of the corner of her mouth in Amy's direction, "Slimy Strapp!" Amy's shoulders vibrated. A single tear rolled down her cheek as she attempted to stifle the sniggers escaping her mouth. Alice continued, "And her blobby bum-bum." Amy exploded with a loud snort laugh, shocking everyone, including Miss Strapp. "What seems to be so funny, Amy?" their teacher asked sternly. Amy composed herself. Just a funny meme I remembered." "Fascinating. You can draw it for me after class." "But I've got rehearsals for the Horror Heights play. Well, I guess you're going to be late, aren't you? Amy knew better than to argue any further. I might as well be cursed, she muttered under her breath. As if giving a kid detention for giggling wasn't bad enough, Miss Strapp then gave everyone homework. They had to make a poster about ancient Egypt over the weekend. Connie hated poster projects. They either had to be really well researched or really artistic, and Connie wasn't good at research or art. The bell rang, and Miss Strapp dismissed the class. Alice apologised to Amy and offered to wait around for her to finish detention. I'd wait too, added Connie, but I don't want Dad to go shopping without me. I need new slime. What happened to that one your auntie sent you? Asked Nat. It shrivelled up into a tiny little piece of plastic, remember? Said Connie. Dust. Slime's worst enemy. You're so lucky your dad buys you slime, said Amy. Nat raised an eyebrow at Connie. She was the only one who knew the truth about how Connie got her slime, but, like a true first best friend, she didn't say anything. Yeah, added Alice. My mum never buys me new stuff. Isn't she getting you a phone for your birthday in a few weeks' time? Connie reminded her, with a tinge of envy. Yeah, Alice said, but I've promised to only use it for phone calls and training. I'm going to link my fitness tracker to it so I can trace my running routes. If I had a phone, I'd watch slime videos like all the time, said Connie. That's why you're not allowed one, said Nat. She grinned without looking up. She was the only one in their group who had a phone, and she was already using it to research facts for her weekend assignment. Connie looked over Nat's shoulder. Does it say anything in there whether the ancient Egypts were allowed phones? Well, they did have tablets, said Nat with a wink. Connie groan-laughed and picked up her bag. Remember, she whispered to Amy as she left, if Miss Strapp smiles, don't look directly at it. Chapter 2. Connie walked quickly, as if her life depended on it. Well, in some ways, it did. If her dad got home before her, it meant he went shopping without her, which meant she couldn't get a new slime, which meant she could lose her reputation as Connie, Queen of Slime. She was given her title earlier that year. Everyone in her class was told to bring in an item related to their hobby, and she had nothing to bring in. In fact, she didn't have a hobby, unless you counted watching TV or gaming, and Miss Strapp had made it very clear that she didn't. She was the only kid in the final year of primary school without an obvious skill. Even her friends had special talents. Nat was nerdy, Amy was artistic, and Alice was athletic. Compared to those around her, Connie felt very ordinary. However, the day before they had to present their items, she randomly received a bouncy Roo-Poo slime in the post from her auntie. Connie had never shown an interest in slime, and she had certainly never asked for it, but without anything else to talk about, she took it to school. Her improvised presentation about being a slime collector was a surprising success. Her classmates found her made-up hobby so amusing they dubbed her Connie, Queen of Slime, and she no longer felt ordinary. She felt extraordinary. To keep her title, Connie became an actual slime collector. It wasn't easy. Her allowance was pitiful, and her dad wouldn't buy it, so she had been forced to develop the 4-step slime heist plan. Step 1. The helpful assistant. Connie would help her dad do the grocery shopping and make sure he didn't miss anything on his list. The more items at the checkout, the better. Step 2. The sprint. While Connie's dad was busy squeezing every avocado to see which ones were ripe, Connie would run to the forbidden aisle, the one with all the toys and party supplies that her dad refused to let her go down. She would pick a new slime and hide it in her hand. Fun fact, magicians call this palming. Step 3. The misdirect. At the checkout, Connie would point to the latest Clash of the Cakes with Helen Mellon magazine. She'd say something like, "Look, Dad, top tips for a good gooey pud." It always worked. Baking was his weakness. While he was distracted, she could implement step 4, the switch. Connie would add the slime she palmed earlier to the conveyor belt for the server to scan, then swiftly pocketed it again before her dad saw. He would pay for all the shopping, totally unaware that he was also buying Connie's latest slime. Connie's slime heists meant that she always had a new slime to bring in and show off. Glittery unicorn slime, smelly sewer slime, glow-in-the-dark radioactive slime, you name it, Connie had heisted it, and Miss Strap had also confiscated it. She felt bad about tricking her dad, but she was fully committed to her new identity as Connie, Queen of Slime, and she didn't plan on losing it. Then again, she also didn't plan on what would happen after she got home that day. To find out the rest of the story, you'll need to get a hold of a copy of this book, Horror Heights by Beck Hill. Find out what happens. Enjoy. Bye for now.